My name is Sarah. I live in Blue Haven, a small town by the sea in the United States. It is a quiet place with small shops, fishing boats, and clean streets. People walk their dogs, drink coffee at local cafes, and greet each other with a smile. I live in a small apartment above a bakery on Maple Street. It's not big, but it's mine. I like the sound of the ocean, the smell of fresh bread in the morning, and the slow rhythm of the town. I work at a bookstore cafe near the water. It's called Sea Breeze Books and Coffee. I make tea, serve muffins, clean tables, and help people find books. The owner, Helen, is a kind woman in her 60s. She talks a lot, sings while cleaning, and gives me warm hugs when I look tired. You need sunshine and something sweet, she says, handing me cookies when the day feels long. My life is simple. I go to work, come home, cook dinner, read a little, and sleep. On Sundays, I visit my parents, who live 20 minutes away. They always ask, "Any news? Anyone special?" I smile and say, "Not yet." The truth is, I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. I'm 28 years old. I'm not unhappy, but something inside me feels quiet, not the peaceful kind of quiet, the lonely kind. I don't talk about it much. People say I'm calm and gentle. Maybe I am, but some nights I lie in bed and ask myself, is this all life is? One Thursday evening, I couldn't sleep. The air felt heavy in my room. I didn't want to watch TV or read, so I put on my jacket and walked outside. The streets were empty. The sea was dark, but I could hear the soft sound of the waves. I walked along the boardwalk slowly, my hands in my pockets, thinking about nothing and everything at the same time. I sat on a wooden bench near the water. I looked out at the ocean. The sky had no stars, only clouds. I took a deep breath. The air smelled like salt and wind. Then I heard footsteps. "Are you okay?" a man's voice asked. I turned my head. A man stood nearby. He looked about my age. He had short brown hair, a gray coat, and soft eyes. His voice was calm. He said quickly, "Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you." I shook my head. "You're not bothering me. Just couldn't sleep." He smiled a little. "Me too. I come here when I feel restless." I nodded. "It's a good place for quiet." He asked, "Mind if I sit?" "Go ahead," I said. We didn't talk much. We just sat there, two strangers looking at the sea. After a few minutes, he stood up and said, "Good night." "Good night," I replied. I thought I would never see him again. But life is strange. The next day at the bookstore cafe, I was wiping down the tables when the bell over the door rang. I looked up, and there he was, the same man from the bench. He looked just as surprised as I did. He said, "You work here?" I nodded. "Yeah, welcome to Seabreeze." He smiled. "Nice place." Helen came over and asked, "What can I get you?" "Just black coffee, please," he said. He sat near the window with a book he brought. He stayed for almost an hour and then left with a simple, "Thanks. See you around." His name, I later learned, was Michael. Michael came again the next week, and the week after that. Sometimes we spoke for a few minutes. Nothing deep, just books, coffee, the weather, small things. I noticed he often looked out the window when it rained. He didn't use his phone much. He was quiet, but not cold. One afternoon, I asked, "Do you live around here?" "Just moved in," he said. "Trying to start fresh?" "Blue Haven is a good place for that," I said. "I hope so," he replied. That was the first time we really looked at each other. As weeks passed, I began to feel something new inside me. It wasn't love, not yet. It was something softer, a light feeling, like a window opening after a long winter. I didn't plan it. I didn't expect it. But every time Michael came in, my heart felt a little less heavy. One evening, Helen and I were closing the shop. She looked at me and said, "You smile more when he's here." I laughed. "Do I?" She winked. "It's good. He seems kind." I didn't say anything, but I thought about her words later that night. Michael never asked me personal questions. He didn't ask if I was single. He didn't flirt. He just showed up, sat quietly, and treated me like a person worth talking to. That felt rare. One Saturday, I saw him at the market. He was buying oranges. I waved. He smiled and walked over. "You like oranges?" I asked. "Love them," he said. "They remind me of summer." We walked together for a few minutes. He carried my shopping bag without asking. It was a small thing, but it meant a lot. "Do you like it here so far?" I asked. "I do," he said. "It's quiet and real." I nodded. "Yes, Blue Haven is slow, but it gives you space to breathe." When we said goodbye, he said, "Maybe I'll see you tomorrow." I said, "I hope so." That night, I didn't feel empty. I didn't feel like I was waiting for something anymore. I just felt present. It was the beginning of something small, but something honest. And for the first time in a long time, that was enough. The next few weeks felt different. I still worked at the bookstore cafe every day. I still made coffee, cleaned tables, and helped people find books. But now, I looked forward to something new. I looked forward to seeing Michael. He came to the cafe 3 times a week. He always sat near the window. He always ordered black coffee. Sometimes he brought a book. Sometimes he just looked outside. But every time, he said hello to me with a kind smile. We didn't talk much at first, but slowly, our words became longer. We talked about music, food, childhood memories. He told me he grew up in a town near the mountains. He said his parents still lived there, but he hadn't visited in a while. One day, I asked, "Why did you move here?" Michael looked down for a second. Then he said, "I needed a new start." I didn't ask more. I could see that it was hard for him to talk about it. But I understood. I needed a new start once, too. Maybe I didn't move to a new town, but I had been waiting for something different in life. That night, I thought about my past. I remembered someone I loved years ago. His name was Daniel. We were together for 2 years. He promised a lot of things: a future, a house, a family, but he always had an excuse. He said, "Not now, maybe later. Just wait a little longer." I waited and waited, but he never changed. He left without a goodbye, just one short message: "I'm sorry, I can't do this." After that, I stopped trusting people easily. I stopped hoping too much. I didn't want to feel that pain again. But now, sitting across the cafe from Michael, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: peace. One morning, Michael came in early. The cafe was empty. He brought a small box with him. He placed it on the counter and said, "For you." I looked inside. It was a lemon muffin with a little note: "Thank you for being kind." I smiled. "Did you make this?" He nodded. "I like to bake sometimes." "Lemon is my favorite," I said. "I know," he replied. "You told me last week." That small moment stayed in my heart all day. Later that afternoon, Helen and I were cleaning up. She said, "You're glowing." I laughed. "It's just a muffin." "It's not just a muffin," she said. "It's attention. It's care. And you deserve that." I didn't say anything, but I knew she was right. A few days later, Michael and I walked together after work. The air was cool. The sky was pink with sunset. He asked, "What do you do when you're not working?" I smiled. "I read. I draw sometimes. And I take long walks by the sea." "Sounds peaceful," he said. "What about you?" "I play guitar," he said. "But only when I'm alone. I'm not very good." "I'd like to hear you someday," I said. He smiled. "Maybe one day." We walked in silence for a moment. Then he said, "I'm glad I met you, Sarah." I felt my heart beat faster. I looked at him. I'm glad I met you too. From that day, something changed between us. He came to the cafe not just for coffee, but to see me. We started sitting outside on the bench after my shift. We talked about little things. We laughed more. I felt safe with him. But one night, as I was getting ready for bed, fear came back. What if he leaves too? What if this is just another short story? I didn't sleep much that night. I was scared to open my heart again. The next day, I was quiet. Michael noticed. He asked, "Are you okay?" I nodded. Just tired. He didn't push. He just stayed near. Later that evening, I sat alone on the beach. I looked at the waves and thought about my life. I said to myself, you can't hide forever. You can't keep waiting for pain. Sometimes people stay. I picked up my phone and sent Michael a message. Can we talk tomorrow? Just the two of us. He replied, of course, anytime. The next evening, we met on the same beach bench. The sky was gray. The sea was calm. I looked at him and said, "There's something I need to say." He nodded. "I'm listening." "I've been alone for a long time," I said. "Not just without someone, but inside. I got used to silence. I got used to waiting for someone to care, to stay, to love me the right way. I'm scared of getting hurt again." Michael looked at me gently. "I know what that feels like. I was in love once too. She left when things got hard. I moved here to forget. But the truth is, I came here to feel again." We sat there, both quiet. Then he said, "I'm not perfect, but I'm honest, and I care about you." Tears came to my eyes. I wiped them quickly and said, "Thank you." He took my hand. "I don't need promises," I said. "I just want real." "You have it," he said. And in that moment, I stopped waiting for the past to return. I started walking toward something new. Life didn't change in one day. Michael and I kept meeting after work, sometimes at the cafe, sometimes at the beach, and sometimes just walking through town with coffee in hand. We didn't rush. We didn't make big promises. We just shared little moments. One day, he brought his guitar to the bench by the sea. "I promised I'd play for you," he said, smiling nervously. I laughed. "I'm ready." He played a soft tune. It wasn't perfect, but it was full of heart. When he finished, I clapped and said, "That was beautiful." He looked at me. "I was scared, but with you, it feels okay." That was the first time I realized something important. I wasn't just learning to trust him. I was learning to trust myself. At work, I felt more confident. I gave ideas for how to display the books. Helen let me choose the music in the cafe. "You've changed, Sarah," she said one afternoon. "You're not just quiet. You're calm and clear, like someone who finally knows where she's going. I smiled. I think I do. I still remembered the girl I used to be, the one who waited for calls, the one who kept silent when her heart broke, the one who stayed still, hoping someone would come and save her. But now, I no longer needed saving. One weekend, I visited my parents again. My mother made tea. My father read the newspaper. Everything was the same in the house. But I was not the same. At dinner, my mom said, "You look happy, sweetheart." I nodded. "I am." She asked, "Is there someone special?" I smiled. "Yes, but more than that, I feel special myself." My dad looked at me. "We're proud of you. We see how strong you've become." Their words touched my heart. I didn't cry, but inside I felt soft and full. Back in Blue Haven, the cafe grew busier. Tourists came in for the summer. Michael helped on weekends. He wiped tables and carried boxes, even though he wasn't staff. He just liked being there. One evening, as we were closing the shop, he asked, "What's your dream, Sarah?" I paused. No one had asked me that in a long time. "I want to have my own place," I said slowly. "A small cafe with books, coffee, soft music, and warm light. A place that feels like home." He smiled. "That sounds perfect. You'd make it beautiful." "I don't know if I can do it," I said. "You can," he said. "And when you do, I'll be your first customer." That night, I wrote down my dream on paper. I drew the cafe. I made a list, a name, a plan. It was just a start, but it felt real. Weeks passed. One morning, I found an envelope on my doorstep. Inside was a card. It said, "For the one who taught me how to begin again, Michael." There was a small gold pin inside, shaped like a coffee cup. I smiled for a long time. That weekend, we sat on the bench by the sea, like we always did. Michael held my hand. "I have something to tell you," he said. I looked at him. "Okay." I was offered a job in another town. It's a good one. More money, more hours. But I don't want to leave. I don't want to start over again. I felt my heart tighten. "You should do what's best for you." He looked at me seriously. "Blue Haven is best for me. You are here." I didn't speak for a moment. Then I said, "I don't want to stop you from growing." He smiled. "I think I'm already growing with you." I squeezed his hand. "Then stay." And he did. Summer turned to fall. The sea was colder, but the sky stayed wide and blue. The cafe was busy, and I kept working on my dream. I saved money, looked at spaces for rent, and even started taking a small business class at the library. Michael helped me every step of the way. He didn't take over. He didn't lead the way. He just walked beside me, and that was enough. One rainy evening, I stood by the window and watched the drops hit the glass. I thought about the girl I used to be, the one who always waited for someone to love her, waited for someone to choose her, waited for life to begin. I wasn't that girl anymore. Now, I choose myself. Now, I begin, and I no longer wait. If you're reading my story, I want you to know something. You don't need to wait forever. You don't need to stay where you feel small. Sometimes life changes when you take one small step. Sometimes that step is simply saying, I deserve more. You are enough. You are strong. And your story isn't over. If you liked my story, please like, comment, and share. More simple and emotional stories are coming soon.